This is the tarot card of the awakening. It shows the Archangel Gabriel blowing his horn, and it's a call to action, a call to duty. And I'll show you how this applies to Donald Trump. This here is the 21, you see the number 10, 21, 3, which is basically the Jupiter card, but it also means the world. And it means that somebody has succeeded in overcoming problems in their life, and they were a success. But it's also a number of spirituality and of sharing. So I just wanted to show these two cards, both the number 20 card, which is the awakening, and the number 21 card, which is the world. This card here is the number 12 card, which is the hanged man, and sometimes that's indicative of somebody sacrificing their plans to the plans or problems of others. This is the Jupiter card, the number 6 card, and it has a lot to do with emotional situations and love. Now this is a little chart that I compiled on Donald Trump. And please note that he was born on June the 14th in 1946. If you add up the 19 and the 4 and the 6, you get it's a 20, we call it a 22 year. It's a 2-year, but composed of the number 20. On the 14th of the month, when you're born, that's considered the juggler. Somebody that's capable of juggling things. But also the 14th letter of the alphabet is an N. It makes somebody very picky and very choosy. And when the 1 is in front of the 4, it means the person will be in front of the public. If it's in behind the 4, it means that they're in the background. And number 14 basically has to do with Mercury. And, pardon me, Mercury is both Gemini and September or Virgo. But it also is the letter N, which is the Virgo letter, so the person's very picky and choosy. Now, the 6th month of the year, June, is also a Gemini, so he's kind of like a double Gemini in a sense. And when you add up the 6 and the 14, you get that awakening, which I was showing you the tarot card. The tarot cards are actually pictographs, but the numbers on them actually depict what the person's attitude or behavior or mentality is. So the pictograph actually has to do with the way the person thinks. In other words, this is somebody that's a planner, and they have constantly an awakening, and they go after things. When you take the all his numbers put together, and you add them all up, you get what they call a 40 life path, which is the George Washington life path. It means that the person later on in their life is going to have a calling which goes beyond money. It goes into a psyche of wanting to do good. I know it sounds funny with somebody that says so many wrong things. Now, when he's in a 3 cycle, because you take his achievement, which is June 14th, and add it up, it's a 20. And 2017 is a 1 year, so that means a 21, which is the world, which I explained, where somebody shares their time, effort, or concern with somebody. When we put all his planets in this cycle, what happens is this is a time that he really doesn't feel in control of things, no matter how he acts. And when you have a double 6 in the 8th column, here's how it works. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it's like a tic-tac-toe board. So 2 6s cause a lot of worries. And the worries about money or finances, I think he'll try to straighten out our economy. And it also has to do with meetings and groups of people and people coming together. When the 9 and the 6 are together, it means that there's going to be a lot to do with property and situations like that. This is the number of trust. The only one he seems to trust is siblings, friends, young people, children, and social situations. Other than that, he doesn't trust very much. With a partner or a female, there's going to be a lot of endings going on in this period, giving up things. But they trust the partner because when you have the 9 in the 2 column, they do trust the partner or a female. So they're going to have a trust situation there. Now, this is the line of diplomacy and organization. What he's really lacking, he's trying to make up with friends and siblings and young people and this kind of thing. Because he lacks a little diplomacy a lot of the time. But it's interesting the way his chart comes together. When you look at the pinnacles, he's in a 21-3 year. And that means it's a Jupiter number. Jupiter has to do with leadership. He's in a leadership year, but his life will be affected by March or Pisces or December or Sagittarius. People born on the 3rd, 12th, 21st, or 30th of any month, and people with a C or an L initial will affect his life, first, middle, or last name, and having a prominent U any place in the name. Now, Clinton was an example of the CL. Both letters were very prominent in the name Clinton. But if he starts choosing people, you'll notice that in key positions, you'll either have a March or a Pisces, a December or Sagittarius, somebody born on the 3rd, 12th, 21st, or 30th, and somebody with a C or an L initial or a prominent U, or any combination. Like I said before, LC, LU, CU, CUL, any combination like that, and the name would be very appealing to him. His challenge from January to March of 2017 is going to be finances and independence. He's used to working independently. And again, up until June of 2017, that's going to be his challenge. Then between June and July, there's going to be a big change. He's going to have to let a lot of things go in his life. He's in a cycle of finishing or completing things. And things either go 100% good or bad, and that'll be the end of June through July. And then from September through to October, he goes into this 40 period, which goes along with his life cycle, which means he's going to have like a lot of projects going. But a 40 is not an easy period. It has to do with the planet Uranus. And what happens is there's always a lot of opposition. I mean, they might call George Washington the father of our country, but I think in the Revolutionary War and whatever, I don't think he had an easy time of it. So George Washington, is as much as he's well known and does good and people think nice of him, he had to be kind of a tough cookie.